Yes, sir. I can
Hello,
hear you.
Engineer Talha. How are you doing?
I'm very good, sir. How about you?
Yes, very good, very good. How are things?
Yeah.
Okay, Engineer Talha, we're starting our interview for a planning engineer now. And you know this session is recorded and you don't have problem with it, right?
No.
Okay, very good. So how many years of experience you have?
I currently have 2 years of experience.
Yes, very good. And these 2 years are in planning or you started in the sides and you shifted to the planning?
It's 1 year inside and 1 year in planning.
Very good. And you are from Pakistan?
Yeah, Pakistan.
Very good, very good. Okay, why you moved from the site to the planning first place?
There are two things. First one is the job opportunity,
Okay,
and second that I already did one internship with a planning consultancy. So I do have that kind of an interest in that planning. So I opted the field, and by the time I got more interest in that, and gradually I came into more detailed and started making everything myself, and eventually got that much interest.
okay. And with this 1 year of planning you have right now, have you created a schedule from A to Z, or you have small bits and pieces? What did you do in this year?
In the start of the year, I was making a smaller schedules, like only of the grid structures and a bit of finishing, but that was not much proper. But the mid of the 1 year, I started making the complete planning package
Okay.
of villas. We have a project where I was handed over 4 villas, and their size was different, but the scope of work, the BQ was almost same for all of them. So I made a complete schedule for them, but that included only the gray structure and a bit of finishing, like the only the block work and the internal cluster, but not that kind of a detail finishing. But recently, like 2 months ago, I have made a schedule that includes include finishing that consists of a 11-story building that is constructed in Islamabad, Pakistan.
Very good, very good, very good. Okay, are you aware of a document I have created about the requirements for the planning engineer where
Yeah, I recently studied that document. That's why during the message I told you that I'm kind of interested in the second stage. That is the planning engineer. First one was the junior planner. The third one is probably the team planner, and the fourth one probably the manager, and the
okay,
last one will be the senior manager.
okay. So here, let's share this document.
Yeah, I can.
Very good. So this document is the job requirement for the planning engineers. And actually, when I created this one for HR, people start telling that you need a superhero to fulfill all this requirement, especially for the planning manager. But the idea here, and this is maybe a good opportunity to explain this document while asking you about it, is that whoever fulfills the most required fields will be selected. It is not required to have all the fields. You need to have only as much as you can. So now
Yeah,
you are, you consider yourself junior planning engineer or a planning engineer?
planning engineer.
Planning engineer, okay. So you have PSC, you are engineer at the first place.
Yeah, bachelor's in civil engineering.
Civil engineer, very good, very good. And you are a PMP certified?
No, not yet.
Not yet, okay. At this stage, I believe it is a bonus. It is not required, but it might be a very good time now to start clearing your PMP certificate before reaching 5 years of experience. Because the PMP itself, it is not the piece of paper where we are telling that you are good or bad, but at least there is a level of understanding, if you know what I mean, between the the engineers if they are getting PMP certificate. So when I say, for example, stakeholders, do you know what stakeholders mean?
Yeah.
Tell me more about stakeholders.
Stakeholders are probably those board of directors that actually make the decision makers. And they are also the shareholders of the profits and the losses of the project.
Okay, this is not 100% accurate. The stakeholders, any party who will be positively or negatively impacted with your project. So if you are executing a project, your neighbors is a stakeholders. The municipality is a stakeholders. So in stakeholders, anyone has an impact, whether it is positive or negative. This is what I mean by having PMP certificates. So when we say stakeholders, everyone will see the same or understand the same thing. You might define stakeholders as the decision makers. You might define the stakeholders as senior management. But when we say stakeholders in terms of PMP definitions, so it will be more clear. This is the point of having PMP certified for planning engineers. Okay, so we'll go for the next one, the earned value management, EVM. What do you know about it?
Unvalued management, basically the amount being, if I say as a contractor, the amount of money that I have put on the tender and the amount of money I am getting earning. So one of the being the budget and the actual and how much I am getting earning and how the pace of work is going on and how the cash flow in terms of profit is coming in terms of me and how the losses are being interpreted. And so basically the unvalued, how my SPIs are in positive or negative or are they one. So it basically concerned with the SPI and the CPI.
Okay, but earned value management has nothing to do with losses and profit, right? We are only converting the amount of work to money so we can measure. As we know that we cannot manage what we cannot measure, right? So in the earned value management, if SPI, as you said, is more than one, what does it mean?
That means that I'm on profit, that I'm earning, I'm not on the loss.
No, it has nothing to do with earning or on profit. You mean you are ahead of schedule?
Yeah. Basically, if I'm CPI, that means that
I'm not saying about CPI. I'm talking about SPI, Scheduled Performance Index.
Okay, SPI. I'm ahead of the schedule, yes.
Yes, okay. And if it is less than one?
That I'm behind the schedule.
And if it is one?
I'm on the schedule.
Okay, good, good. Okay, so in your opinion, what is CPM?
Critical path method, that if I'm saying the path, the activities that I have listed down, and when I was scheduling them, so the path that I will make, like if I give an example, from the structure to the block work to the internal cluster to the conduiting and then and forward, the activity that is actually dependent on the previous one, and they are going move forwards. The critical path can change, but the path which actually defines the completion date of your project, and any delay in any of that activity will disturb the complete schedule and make it prolong.
Okay, so coming to the critical path method, what are the differences between total float and free float?
Total float is the float that actually affects the complete schedule, and that delay that comes from the complete scheduling. And the free float is that comes from the successor activity.
Okay, very good. So, and Primavera is using CPM or not?
Yes, it is using.
Yes, it is using CPM, critical path method. This is how it is scheduling activities, and based on the relationships we define, like start, finish to start with lags, duration, blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
It will calculate for us the project start date and finish date and the critical path. What's the difference between the critical path and longest path?
The longest path is that path that includes the maximum time that any of the non-critical path activity can take. Like the critical path is that the shortest path that defines that your complete project will end from this start date to this end date. While talking about the longest path, it can include a number of more activities, but that activities won't affect the either they can affect or they not the critical or the main duration of your project.
No, I didn't understand. Can you tell me the differences between the critical path and the longest path in your baseline? Will the critical path be same as the longest path?
It can be, or it cannot be.
Based on what?
Based on the situation of your current monitoring schedule on where your cash flow is being working. And
what the cash flow has to do with this one?
Where you are currently standing on your progress of your project.
No, cash flow has nothing to do with the longest path or the
the progress of your project, the amount of your physical progress or whatever you are monitoring on that. Based on that, where you are standing, and then we evaluate either we are on the critical path or we are being prolonged or it is being changed now.
Okay, let me tell you one thing. Usually in the baseline, without any updates, the critical path will be almost the same as the longest path because you don't have no updates. If the activity is critical, it means 0. But when you are starting the updates now and you have some delays, let's say you have 10 days delays. So you have -10, -8, -9, -6, -4 until 0. All of these one are critical, but the longest path will differentiate the activity that causing the most delays. So this is where we are filtering the longest paths to know, okay, we have 9 days delays. Which activities are causing these 9 days? If you show the critical path, it will show every activity that 0 or below 0. But the longest path will show the activity with -9 only in the total path. So we can fix this one. Then maybe after we fix this one, the longest path will be the activities with 8 days delays and so on until we fix our schedule. You got my point?
You mean to say that eventually the longest path becomes the critical path?
Longest path will be critical path with a baseline, no update. But they will be different if you updated your schedule. And then after you update your schedule, you recorded delays. Now we have 2 scenarios. Activities with minus float, it means -10, and the activities with 0 float. So the activity with 0 float is a critical, and the activity with -10 is critical also. But we need to define the most delayed activity which impacting our schedule. In that case, we can use the longest path to define these activities.
Okay. So basically the activities that involve the negative float and the path they are following from their predecessors and coming to their successors, that is actually the longest path.
Yeah, longest path will show to you the set of activities that causing the most delays to your project.
Okay.
Okay, productivity rates. What are the productivity rates?
Productivity rates is basically the amount of quantum of work a labor or a machinery do in a specific time frame.
Give me one example for a productivity rate for concrete works, for example.
Okay, like if I am talking about the concrete pump that work on my site.
Okay.
So it has a productivity of around 20 to 30 cubic meter per hour.
Okay. So give me, this is for machinery, yes. Give me for manpower.
Okay, manpower. like some square feet around a labor, a mason. How much block work he do in one day?
Okay, so give me
How much?
what is the productivity rate for masonry work, for example?
Masonry, for example, a mason, how much square foot area he covers in one day, and how much even I can come to the volume also, if it's involved the height also. So around 20 to 30, if it's a medium range, he will cover that area.
20 to 30 square meter?
Yeah, probably
Okay.
per 8 hours.
So if I have 1,000 square meter, how many hours I need? 1,000 square meter of masonry works. How many hours I need to put in my schedule to execute these hours?
I can calculate 1,000 square meter. Around 400.
I have here, let's say we have 20 square meter per day, right? 160 hours per 20 square meter. This is what I need to know per 1,000 square meter, right?
Yeah.
You remember this, what we took in the school? You make this here. So these hours will equal what?
We will just multiply 160 by 1,000 and then divide by 20.
So this is the total hours I want, right?
Yes.
Okay, very good, very good. You know that many engineers are confused of this one. You need to well understand what we are talking about, because this will help us a lot, right?
Okay.
Okay, coming back to our sheet, what is WBS?
WBS is the breakdown, work breakdown structure, and how basically one is the activities, and before activities, how we are actually featuring them, like firstly the mobilization, and then the procurement, and then the engineering part, and then the final testing and commissioning.
Okay, very good. How you create your activity list? Okay, we were talking about the activity list.
Yeah.
How you can create your activity list?
Activity lists, like all my basically I see them mainly from the bill of quantities, the BU that actually I receive from the contract section.
Okay.
That is main section that I see my activity lists are coming from. Then after having the BOQ, I organize them and see what actually can be my major activities. Or if I have to merge any of them, I make them my list afterwards. But if I concerned about like if my BOQ have some summarized items, like for example concrete. So what I do is I separate it like the form work, the steel work, and the concrete activity. So I break down it. And
okay, so you are doing composing and decomposing.
Yes.
Okay, very good. How you sequence your activities, based on what?
Yes.
How you sequencing your activities? How you creating the relationships?
One sequence is firstly my own technical knowledge, then how things are being executed since I have spent time on site. The first thing is that. The second is that according to the cash flow, I have to consult with my project manager. Then how will you take the things along with? So this is the second thing. But the third thing that I have to manage my cash flow also, with how the cash flow of my project will coming to the lead. So
you concern a lot about the cash flow.
No, the cash flow, this can be the two parts. One thing is the cash flow is defined. Okay? The other thing, if I'm working with a client and the cash flow may vary with the passage of time, you are procuring the things and you haven't done all the contracts yet. Okay? So I have to see how my owner of my project is assembling his cash flows. So I have to change the sequence of my activities if necessary. But if I'm working on a project where the budget is fixed, so I have to think about the S curve to make a neutral, and afterwards I have to sequence my activities according to that.
Okay, I agree with you that the cash flow sometimes will force us to sequence activity in some certain way, but this is, I don't call sequence activity, I call it maybe resource leveling or cash flow leveling. We do, let's say, if we have a limitation in our payments, or limitation in our company, so we can say, okay, we don't want to reduce our let's say monthly payments, so we will get the required monthly cash flow as per our contract. It's okay. And the cost loading, how you create your cost loading?
About the cost loading, I firstly take the BOQ, the bill of quantities, and then I assemble my activities according to the BOQ, and the same thing, the composing and decomposing the things. And then I do all the scheduling first, and then I see where I have to give the certain amount of percentage to the activity. Like major activities are being sequenced with the BOQ, and the BOQ have the cost. So
and you are creating, sorry for interruption, you are creating these calculations in Excel, or are you creating it directly in Primavera?
I usually do in Excel, and then I import that Excel file into Primavera.
Very good, very good. And the resource loading, you are doing the same?
Yeah, the same from resource loading on Excel, and then I import on Primavera.
Very good. What about the cash flow and S curve? How we get them?
Okay, I also have the knowledge of Excel VBA, Visual Basic.
VBA, very good.
Yeah, so I do work on, I recently created my own cash flow programming on Excel to make, since I told you that working with a client disturbs the cash flow a lot. So I have to sequence my activities a lot, many of the times, and I have to see where I go too fast, where I have to slow down. So I have the cash flow on my Excel also. But coming onto the Primavera, so the same thing, that the cost loading on the Primavera, and then the Primavera shows me a curve. And after observing that how it actually going on with my initial scheduling, initial sequence of the activities, and then I changes the sequence and the amount of durations, and if I have to increase my productivity, not productivity, the resources, either have to increase the resources on a certain activity or have to lower the resources. So according to that, I adjust my cash flow on Primavera.
Very good, very good, very good. Okay, what about the resource histogram? I'm sure that you cover this also in the same, because it is the same way you are doing cash flow. You can do the resource histogram once you uploaded your data into Primavera. Now, coming to the shop drawing log and procurement log, have you created any of them?
Yes.
Okay. And you are using them in Excel, or are you using them in Primavera directly, or how you are doing them? Both?
Yes.
Okay, okay. I assume you have the basics of Oracle Primavera, right?
Yes.
You are advanced user of Primavera, or you can say you are basic user of Primavera?
Can you repeat the question?
You are a basic user of Primavera or advanced user?
Since I told you that I have worked with around 1 year, so you can expect it's a sort of working that I have a medium advanced, you can say.
Good. Okay. What about the Excel? You told me you are using VB, Visual Basic, which is using macros and so on. What about VLOOKUP? How you are using VLOOKUP regularly in Excel?
Yeah, I do work on those things. The VLOOKUPs and how the findings.
Pivot tables.
Yeah, everything.
Okay. Very good. See, from this short interview, I see you are doing very well and your potentials are very great, to be honest. What I would do if this is a real interview, I'll take you to the next level where I can see your work and see samples of what you did, do some small project together. But as far as your 2 years of experience, you are doing a great job. I encourage you to learn more. Have you worked with Power Query?
I have started learning the Power BI.
Power BI, yeah. Power BI is a great tool for interactive reporting, but Power Query, since you are interested in the Excel, it will do the tasks as easy as VBA. Maybe it is more easy, or you can merge two tables together. You can do some of things. So you don't work with the Power Query before, right?
Okay.
Okay. Don't worry, it's fine. It is not required at your level, but since you participated with me in this interview, just send me a message on WhatsApp after we end this meeting. I'll give you one course for free. It is talking mainly about how to do things using Power Query, so you can study and tell me what you think.
Thank you.
You are most welcome. You are most welcome. You was doing great. I encourage you to keep learning and keep practicing. You are doing a good job, but you need to start your PMP. This is my advice to you. Start it in the next, put it a plan for the next 2 years. You should clear it. So when you talk with someone, especially from different culture, you will talk at the same level. And keep learning, practicing in the planning. If this is a real interview, I would definitely take you to the next level.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Talha. It was nice to meet you. And don't forget to send me the message after the meeting.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.